everyone, welcome back. If you were so patiently waiting for another thrift flip, I'm excited to say that day is today. So we are doing some easy DIY thrift flips for you guys today, and we are actually keeping them neutral based. So I hope you love these DIY thrift flips, and without further ado, let's get into it. So first up is this music box transformation. Now I actually didn't mind this gold color, but there were some spots where it just was fading away, so I had to spray paint it, and I spray painted it with my gold, but I ended up hating it. I thought it looked a little bit chintzy, so I ditched that idea and decided to go with white spray paint instead. So I started spray painting it with my Blossom White Rust-Oleum spray paint and thought it had a much better look. This took about 3 coats of spray paint though to get to this consistency. Next thing I did was go in with my gold paint pen and start kind of highlighting some of the design on those drawers. Now this had always been the plan. I planned on having the box remain gold and then just highlight the design with white. However, when I spray painted white, I just kind of inverted that design instead. And because I was unsure of what part of the design I wanted to highlight, I ended up coloring in some of the top and then a different design on the bottom, and ultimately picked the bottom as my choice to kind of go and move forward with. So to finish up this piece, I just ended up completing the design on the bottom. Off camera, I took that top drawer and I spray painted it white again before I went ahead and colored in that design. But I just love the way that this turned out. It really looks upscale while still having a whimsical feel to it. Next up is this lamp that I kind of decided to choose a more minimal style for it. So if you remember seeing this in the thrift haul, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go bold and beautiful or kind of keep it simple and elegant. So ultimately I decided, because of its shape and because of its style, I think it would lend itself a little bit better to something a little bit more elegant and something simply stated. So as you can see here, I was just putting tape all around the areas that I didn't want it to paint over before I ended up going in with my paint. So this is Mother of Pearls, and this is actually the wall color that I used in my daughter's room, and this lamp will actually be featured in that room. So I kind of wanted to match and marry that color together. Also, if you notice here, I am using a paintbrush. I am one of those people who actually like the look of paintbrush strokes. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why. But I will say that for me, it was important to kind of make sure my brush strokes were going in the same direction and were completely straight. So after about 3 coats of that paint, I was ready to go on to the little detail at the bottom. So as you can see here, I am just applying washi tape at the bottom of it, and this I got at Dollar Tree. It's not the best when it comes to sticking, but it was well enough that it did its job. And I put 3 lines of washi tape there so I could paint 2 lines on this little lamp that I had right here. Now, something that I learned after many years of trying to get a crisp line is to actually take your base paint that you have and paint it over where you want to put a different color. And this is so that when you take that tape off, it actually leaves a crisp line and there's no bleed through of the top color. Honestly, something I wish I knew about years ago. And now I'm going to be taking my Glidden paint. It's the color Stylish, and I'm going to be painting in between those tape lines. So using a small paintbrush, I gave it a generous coat of this color, making sure that I went in, I think, twice before I actually took the tape off. And what I wanted to do was make sure that I coated it completely, but I made sure that I didn't let the paint dry before I actually started peeling the tape off. This was to make sure that I didn't get that jagged edge look of when you take tape off and it pulls up the paint inevitably too. But yeah, this was such a simple design. I definitely could have done more lines, but I thought 2 lines was actually perfect, and I think it just gave it an elegant look. Last but not least is my favorite transformation of the day, this line art vase. Now, I absolutely hated this color, and so much so that I actually thought, why did I pick this up? But I thought I could make it over and make it beautiful. So I first started off by spraying it with a smoky beige color. Now you can technically see those lines that were underneath, but I wanted to kind of give it a little bit more dimension, so that's why I actually brought out my paint pen and started tracing over those lines lightly. I toyed with the idea of doing a black kind of overlay, but I decided against it. I wanted a more subtle look and something a little bit more upscale and elegant. And although I think black can be elegant too, I just thought for this piece it would be a little bit too much in your face. So surprisingly enough, this took me quite a bit of time to make sure that I got every single line covered, but I love the way that this turned out. Now this actually reminds me of almost like an Art Deco piece, so not my typical style, but I want to say that it turned out beautifully and I love it so much. That's it for the DIY thrift flips today, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if thrift flips are something you want to see more of, definitely make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're not subscribed, if I pass that vibe check for you, definitely make sure you're subscribed and you hit that little notification bell so you're the know when I post again. If you're new here, I'm a home decor and DIY enthusiast, of course, but I also like to keep my DIY simple because DIY should be for everyone. For anyone who wants to actually try and do DIY should be that for everyone. So I keep things here on my channel simple, but we also keep it creative too. So if you would like to join the family, I would love that so much. But once again, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.